then, did you know that in the original Star Trek movie, the role of the second-in-command was to have been played by a woman, a beautiful actress called Majel Barrett, but it was the 60s, and the un-PC studio bosses wanted a man to play the role, so Spock was born. Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry had to break the news to Majel, but instead of sacking her, he asked her to marry him. And she later became the voice of the computer, amongst other characters. And Majel, the first lady of Star Trek, is here now. How lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely to see. So it's true, isn't it? They wanted you as second-in-command, or Gene did.
Yes, in the original pilot.
Yes.
And they just decided that the public would not accept a woman second-in-command of a starship particularly. So I was out.
Which is ironic, considering much later on, a woman actually ended up being the captain.
That's right.
So
yes,
so yes, it's funny how times change. What other problems did they have in those times, in the 60s when Gene was first trying to get the series away?
Oh, censorship.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, when we did in '69, when we did the first pilot, it was just you may not do this. You may not show a woman's belly button or anything, because in that one he had somebody whose belly button showed, and they came and they said, no, that can't be. So instead, in another pilot that he did much later on, I mean many years on, he decided he'd get back at him, and he gave her 2 belly buttons.
But also he was very enlightened and wanted to spread not a political message exactly, but a message of peace and all that sort of thing. And they wouldn't allow him to do it. And he loved ladies, yes. But so he got around it by setting it in the future in space, and then nobody turned a hair.
Yes, yeah. Well, but in the first one, I mean, it was in space too, and it was many years in the future. But they still wouldn't let him get away with it. And so it ends up that we didn't have the belly button in the first one and the second one, which was a good, what, 15, 20 years later or something. He just decided he'd splurge.
What's astonishing is how up to date it was at that time. How accurate what Gene was doing on set.
Predictions.
Now, as you know, well, let's just look at this. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be holding this in my hands. It's, this is one of the original Star Trek communicators. There you go. And this, of course, is a brand new mobile phone. Now, we all know now that that mobile phones look like that. But of course, when you open up the Star Trek communicator,
do it again. I'll take the phone away. Do the flip again.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at that.
Just stunning. Look at that.
Look inside.
That's just fabulous. Thank you for bringing this.
Sparkly diamonds and everything. Isn't it heaven?
But it's incredible.
But you guys don't know, but actually I originated that because when I had to do it in the first pilot, I had to hold one of those things. And when we were trying to get it open, I had something in this hand, and then I've got something in this hand. So to try to open it, there was no way to get the thing open. And you know, would have to reach over like this, or find some place and put down the other thing that I had in my hand. And I finally kind of went like this, and it was loose enough, and that's how that originated.
Can I do it?
Of course you can, yes.
And when you were at home with Gene, oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? That's the best thing.
We need the noise.
Yeah. When you were at home with him, did you sit together, imagining things, making things up? That would be a good idea. Let's have a bit of
heavens, no. Our home was so ordinary and so modern, and so, I mean, just everyday type of stuff. No, we never brought the work home at all. Nothing about Star Trek, nothing about space. No, it just all came out of his imagination, really.
And his death as well was a space thing. He died in 1991.
Yes, yeah.
And wanted his ashes sent into space.
No, he didn't even mention it. That was my idea.
Oh, you are brilliant. So tell us what happened.
He passed away. It was just like all of a sudden we were out at the doctor's office, and he just went over. And that was, you know, that was that. It was just that simple. But he had been ill for quite a while, so this is no real
But this marvellous idea
surprise.
of yours, this marvellous idea of yours,
well,
to send him up.
after he was cremated, because he did say that he wanted to be cremated. And I just thought, now what do we do with the ashes? And then it just kind of came, I said, well, let's send him up into space. Well, I thought when the astronauts that we knew and that I had approached, I thought when they said yes, they were going to take the whole thing and blow it up into space or something. They just take a little tiny bit of it, that's
Right.
all. And you put it into a test tube looking thing, and they take it and put it on the thing, and out it goes.
So is he orbiting the Earth?
There's twice that we did it.
Yeah.
And the first time he came back down. He had to come back down.
Re-entry.
But
Yeah.
And the second time they just shot him straight out.
Oh wow.
So
Fabulous.
You kind of have to wait for them to plan that, though. That's
What do you think he would think, as if he's sort of out in space now? What do you think he would think, looking back at his creation?
Well, he'd be surprised that there was so much hullabaloo about it, except that part of that did happen while he was alive. So it might not be too surprising. I don't know. Gene always expected a lot of everything, so perhaps he expected a lot of those incidents too.
And there is a huge new film, the new Nemesis, isn't there? I mean, that sounds just like it's going to be amazing.
That's what it sounds like. I have not seen the whole thing yet, but I mean, I've heard all the stories and so on. They say this one's a really wham-danger.
I think we've actually got a clip of Nemesis.
You do?
Yes, we
First
do.
film I've seen.
Is it? Well, here we go.
Yes.
I'll show you now.
Do you think this is a wise course of action, sir?
We're about to find out, Data.
Star Trek Nemesis out on the 3rd of January.
3rd of January?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we have to say that the 6th of December to the 31st of January at Hyde Park, there's the Star Trek Adventure, where you can go be beamed up, you can have the full or standing on the bridge experience.
Yes, and there's actually 2 bridges. The thing is at least twice the size of a football field.
This is the biggest structure that's been in Hyde Park since 1860, I think, for more than two days.
That's what they say
Unbelievable.
for the 2 days, but I think it's just the biggest one, period. And to leave it there for as long as they are going to leave it, which could be as much as 5 months, is rather unprecedented, too.
Majel,
Sounds
thank
amazing.
you very
Thank
much
you so
indeed.
much.
It's
And
lovely to meet you.
Thank you for bringing this in. I'm going to do it one more time, then I'll hand it back. There we go.
You're not
There you
allowed
go.
it, I'm afraid.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you
Great
very
pleasure.
much.
Now